Hey there. So if you're having a hard time estimating, let's just take the estimation out of this problem entirely. What I've got here is a problem that is exactly like the one that is in your math lab. You're still trying to find the distance from town A to town B. The only difference is that they give you a different scale. Now, I could just as easily do what I'm getting ready to do on the computer screen. I printed out the paper because it makes it a little bit easier to make this video. But I am getting ready to write on this picture, and you can still do what I'm doing by writing on the computer screen. My students do it at school all the time. I have them use dry erase markers to write on a computer or a tablet screen, because especially in math when we're doing stuff that's a little bit more visible, and that will be enough of a marker for what we're getting ready to do. So the first thing is that I'm going to take this clear, like very light paper. See, it's really light so you can see through it, even if I put it on top of the picture. And I'm going to put it over the scale, and I am going to make myself a copy of that line by tracing over it. So in effect, I've just kind of made myself a ruler by tracing over the scale that came with the problem. So now I'm just going to use that to measure. So I'm going to take the end of our little measuring scale here. I'm going to place it over the starting point here at town A. So I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to rotate this line. Obviously, it's not long enough to measure all the way from A to B, right? So I'm going to have to measure it in little segments or pieces. So I'm going to take the end, I'm going to scoot it over so that it's on top of the coordinate that designates where town A is. And I'm going to just kind of point the line so that it's headed in the right general direction of going towards town B. And I'm going to measure how far down the path it got. So I can see it's going to leave off right here. So I am going to lift up my paper and I'm going to make a little mark on the map right there where it left off. Then I'm going to scoot my ruler down to that spot on the paper where I left off. Now I'm going to measure again. I'm headed like towards town B. So it started right there. Once again, it leaves off right here. So I'm going to lift up the paper. I'm going to make just a little mark, kind of estimating about where it left off. Then I'm going to scooch the ruler down again. Match the end of my ruler up with the little hash mark I just left on there. Once again, I'm going to make a mark that kind of indicates where it left off, right there. And finally, I'm going to make one more trip. And look, now my little ruler makes it from the last little hashtag I made all the way right here to B. So let's see how many. So here's one where I left 1 mark, 2 marks, and 3 marks. And then finally I made it to town B. So that took 1. I don't know, have any idea why I just wrote a 4 while saying 1. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4 little trips down to measure using this scale. If the scale is equal to 80 kilometers and it took us 1, 2, 3, 4 links of that scale to get from town A to town B, then I'm just going to do 4 times 80 kilometers to get that distance. 4 times 80 kilometers is 320 kilometers. So the real life distance between town A and town B is 320 kilometers.